Also something else that happened this week is, as you guys can see behind you, we got our new official fucking logo from Skedaddle. Hold up. Let me get, you guys can see it on screen, but let me get the actual uh version of it pulled up, like, to, so you guys can view it. I have it right here.
Okay.
This is our new official Lost
Yeah.
Boys logo. Thank you, and shout out to Skedaddle. Um, as far as like, this is one of the pieces I wanted to share this week. Not done by me, but definitely a piece that deserves to be shared. One of her best pieces fucking ever, and I know I'm biased because it's it's my logo, but it, dude, she outdid herself, man. I mean,
Oh,
I
absolutely,
really got, guys, just
absolutely.
go and look at the detail on this thing. Everything from the shimmer of light that you can see passing over the entire thing, over the heart, over the metal of the pen and the microphone, just the detail, how straight the lines are. She did so fucking well, and
Oh, absolutely. And you
I
said something
cannot
about
stop looking at this thing.
she individually wrote. She actually wrote it out. That's not a font that
Yeah.
she just
So
picked out either.
right, she was having trouble finding a font that matched the vibe, because it's all about, like, the symbol is great, but when you see those words, those three words, you want it to feel like that,
Right.
right? The original. This is the original behind me, right? And then the one we had kind of designed ourselves with AI was this one, you know, and we wanted it to have the vibe of those words, the shape, the texture, just the feel of how those words look aesthetically. And I mean, she went out and she drew them herself, and she did, man. I cannot even tell
She
you
really did. She did
how
phenomenal.
astounded I am.
Absolutely.
She, like, not that I ever doubted her for a second. Like, I knew she could do it. I didn't
Right.
ever doubt her for a second, but I expected it to be like almost like a steak at a restaurant. Like, oh, you almost, but like, can you like go back and, or like, I expected me to
Right.
have
Expected the
notes and
kind of
send
little
it
bit of
back to
like,
her.
okay, tweak and
Right. That didn't happen. This was first draft. This was first fucking. She sent this to me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
yeah,
I
yeah. And
I, I love it.
you sent it
It's
instantly to
so
me.
good.
I know you. Yeah. No,
It's
this
so
is
good.
phenomenal.
So good. Anyway, so because of time, um let's get into what's poppin', because I do have a big what's poppin' this week. And
Cool.
I think the way that we're kind of doing it right now is he led what's poppin' last week. Kind of, he came up with his list and kind of led us through it. Now I'm taking the reins. We're kind of just gonna switch back and forth week to week. But yeah. So to get us into what's poppin', first, we have our Lost Boys community shoutouts. Starting off with New Eurekan Poets Cafe. You can go to their website and see all their live dates and everything they have going on. But mainly, I wanted to shout out their online show that I have been a part of, and their host has been a part of this show, actually. It is hosted by the Elemental the Poet. Great guy, great artist, fucking just all around solid dude. Um, and he likes to say it is the greatest community in the world, which it is definitely up there for me. Again, I've been on the show before multiple times. They hold it Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so go check that out. There is Poetry Life League, where you can go and vote for Lady Crucible on August 2nd. She is part of their. She is voted in their top 5, top 10, something like that. She told us on the last episode. Now I can't remember, but go, make sure you go vote for Lady Crucible. I also want to give a shout out to one of our newest Lost Boys members. Brendan, I believe you had actually her name written down. It's Violet.
So there's actually three brand new members within the past like week or so that has joined since our last episode.
All right, I'll let you shout
Uh,
them out real quick.
so that is Violet Smith, also known as the poet Shorty Rock. She was also on Poetry Life League, so go check that out as well. Also, Corinne Christini. She's also known as the author Miss Casey. Her books are on Amazon right now, so you can go check those out. And also Jimmy Mullins, also known as DJ Spree. And he's actually going to be coming on here on the show, joining us
Yeah,
here pretty soon.
we have him. We have him scheduled for next month. You guys. Sorry, I muted myself. You guys should be seeing his episode end of August. End of
Yeah.
August is when you guys will be seeing Jimmy's episode. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. We also have Bars Battle Rap League. That's BARZ Battle Rap League. They host online shows like this, but more confrontational. Not I don't like to say confrontational. Sorry, it's battle rap. I mean,
Right.
for those of
Right.
you who
No,
know what
absolutely.
battle rap is, yeah, he hosts battles online. I believe he uses StreamYard as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, go check that out. It's hosted by Tom Bland, one of our newest members. He joined a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
There's the Immersive Experience podcast hosted by Desi Liu, and you guys will see her tonight. Or actually this morning because this is airing at 9 a.m. in the morning for you guys. We're recording at 9 o'clock at night. Anyway, go check out Immersive Experience podcast hosted by Desi Liu. As of recording, the last episode of that today is July 16th. The last episode of that came out July 15th. She might have more stuff out by the time this comes out. She might not, but go check out her podcast, Immersive Experience, on YouTube. We have James Hamilton. He's been a guest on the show many times. He is nominated on National Spoken Word Awards.com. He's nominated for 2 categories. Voting is open till the end of July, so go check that out. And if you are in Bell, Montana, on December 6th, he will be at the OCA Arts Center at 7 p.m. Eastern for an open mic. So make sure you go check that out. Um, One of our favorite guests and one of my favorite authors, PR Infidel. I made a post super funny. Go check it out on the. Well, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, and she appreciated it too. But go check out the Lost Boys Facebook page. I made a post about her and her books last night. They're about anthropomorphic animals who uncover government secrets and conspiracies and lies. It's fucking awesome. Very George Orwell esque. They're called Tales of American Idiocy and the Conspiracy Crew. The End is Meow because the main character is a cat named Chester. Um, then we have Robert Foster, who has also been a guest on the show multiple times. He has books on Amazon. Craig Island, which I have read part of. I bought it. It's about a island prison like Alcatraz, but it is filled of supernatural creatures. Pretty dope. So far from what I've read, great book. I'm only about halfway into it, Robert. I'm sorry. Really don't have much time to read, but I promise you. And again, same for Tales of American Idiocy. I bought it. I'm only about halfway through it, but I promise you guys, I'm getting there. Um, anyway, go check out Robert Foster's book. He also has another one called Morgan's Mount. That's on Amazon. I underestimated how much of a mouthful this What's Poppin' was going to be. Um, we also have Chris Foster. Last and final of our community shout outs, we have Chris Foster, no relation to Robert Foster, just another one of our fantastic guests. He has a class for writer's block, kind of guiding them and teaching them how to navigate the murky waters of writer's block. And for writers, by writers. It's live on Instagram weekly from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. You can find him original_poetry with 2 E's on Insta, or Poetry Roots. Roots is ROTZ, and that's his link tree. And that will link you to all his other stuff he's got going on as well. So go check out Chris and his stuff. Now, I have a few local talents, and by local, I mean my town. I went to a fair this weekend, my hometown fair, and got a chance to talk to some meet really cool people, meet some really cool artists. There's one guy I really wanted to give a shout out to. He was a circus performer. He came by himself. Unfortunately, I didn't get his name, which really sucks because he was great as much of a comedian as he was a circus performer. But he was from Vermont, and I wish I had gotten a chance to get his information, but I do have 3 other people's information for you. First is Jenny from Castle Manor Gardens, and she makes crafts and she prints 3D art. So this is one of her things that she made. This
Oh
is a
wow.
little dragon that she designed and 3D printed
Oh, that's
that I
really cool.
bought. So yeah, go check out Jenny at Castle Manor Gardens. They make all sorts of things. I mean, mugs. Like when I say crafts, I mean like everything. They also have like a botanical part of their website where you can buy like plants and stuff, which is kind of cool. So
Nice.
Castle Manor Gardens on Facebook or castlemanor@gmail.com. There's also a website called, sorry, digital art site called This Frog, all capital letters. Yes, This Frog, as in the animal. I've been following this guy for years. His name is Jared Powers. And he makes digital art. This is an example of one of his pieces that I bought, or that he might have. This is actually might be one of the ones he handed out to me because it's got his business information on the back. This might have been one of the ones he handed out to me for free. I'm not sure, but there is there's a taco place in town, and which is seems like an odd place to sell art, but yeah, um, he has some kind of deal with Taco Biondo, which is the taco place in my town, where they sell his art for him. And like I've bought numerous art pieces. Like while I'm going there to get my quesadilla, I'm like, hey, this piece looks cool, and I bought it. I bought multiple different Spider-Man ones. I think there was like a Shrek one I might have bought, but then he does like abstract, just like so things like Skedaddle would do and stuff like that. So go check him out. And then one more, he's got an email, thisfrog@yahoo.com, or you can call him at 603-464-9700. And then one more guy from the fair, Doug the Devil Stick Man. He's a street performer, really cool guy. He was handing out free balloon animals to the kids. And I got a balloon giraffe for my girlfriend, which he said that you're never too old for balloons. So just shout out to that. Shout out to Doug. He was just a cool guy. And I told him I have a podcast and I shout him out. So there's your few seconds, bro. Next category we have is button poetry, which is the biggest, to my knowledge, one of the biggest poetry channels on YouTube. And these are some artists that I've been following for years. I've been following the channel for years. And it is part of that channel is what, and these artists are what made me want to start writing spoken word, because I started writing spoken word before I really got even like I got into spoken word before I started writing rap. I've always been into rap, like from a listener's perspective and analyzing, and maybe I wrote a few lyrics here and there, but I got into spoken word way before rap, and these are the artists and the channel that made me want to start doing this in the first place. That's how this all started. Is I wanted to start performing my poetry online and create something that was like button poetry. And this has become its own thing, but I still want to give a shout out to like the roots of, you know, what inspired me. So here are some artists and their new poetry books that they have out now. We have Neil Hill, and you can obviously button poetry on YouTube. Neil Hilborn, About Time, Sarah Kay, A Little Daylight Left, Jared Singer, Forgotten Necessities, Sabrina Benane, Depression and Other Magic Tricks, Rudy Francisco, Excuse Me as I Kiss the Sky, Ollie Schmitsky, I'm sorry if I butchered the name, Where I Dry the Flowers, and Guante, who I've been following him for so long. One of my favorite spoken word artists. Um, Go check out on YouTube his poem called "Reach" in all capital letters, and he also has a book out right now called "Not a Lot of Reasons to Sing, but Enough," as well as a hip hop oriented album about climate crisis. Yes, it's a hip hop album about climate crisis.
Nice.
It's called "All Dressed Up, No Funeral." So those are our poetry mentions for the night. Um, Now let us get into the music. Um, and yes, Brendan, I am keeping an eye on the time. Um, but so first thing I want to mention as far as music is, dude, Ozzy's farewell, man. I watched a lot of the footage. It was really sad to see as someone who grew up with Ozzy and knowing how many people over 4 fucking generations grew up with Ozzy,
Oh yeah,
man, and just
absolutely.
seeing him not be able to. I mean, his feet. Not only were he was in a specially designed chair, but his feet were secured to the ground for his own safety, so that he didn't fall out of his chair, which is absolutely so fucking sad. But also, I want to highlight the good part of that, because yes, that is sad to see, but the fact that he is that bad and he is still, no, I want to be on stage. Put me on that fucking stage in front of my fans. I want to give them a proper goodbye. I want to give them the goodbye that they fucking deserve.
To me,
Who?
He is
Name
no
one
longer
other
the
artist.
Prince of Darkness. He is no longer the Prince of Darkness. To me, he is the king. He is the
Mhm.
King of Darkness.
And he has kind of passed on the torch to who he thinks is sort of the new prince, Youngblood. Now,
Yep.
I personally don't know a lot of Youngblood songs. I have to get more into Youngblood from what I have listened to him. Great artist, done a lot of work with MGK. Um, I've heard some of his solo stuff too. Great artist, very
Very
eccentric,
eccentric.
very out there, very I don't give a fuck what you think about me or what you say
Very
or
rock and roll.
very rock and roll. And what I think is just so amazing is that he grew up idolizing Ozzy as like not only a music like idol, but as sort of like a father figure in some ways. And then he earned the respect and the love of his idol, and now he really kind of is a father figure to him. Like he looks at him as one of Ozzy looks at Youngblood as one of his sons, and
Right.
he gave him one of Ozzy's crosses that he's been wearing for the last 30 fucking years on every stage.
Yep.
He gave one of those crosses to him, and Youngblood had one handmade in return. And man, I just think that relationship that they have is just so awesome and fucking good for him. And I just I all the love goes out to Ozzy and all the love goes out to Youngblood. Speaking of Youngblood, he has an album out now called Idols. Funnily enough, and it probably the eh, now that I think about it, the title is probably inspired in somewhat by his idol. Um, and he is releasing. I don't know if they will still be out when this episode releases, but he is releasing vinyls filled with his own blood, or so he says. There's a video on YouTube of him hooked up to an IV machine, and Steven Tyler just casually walks over and starts talking to him and taking a look at his blood-filled records, which is really cool to just see Steven Tyler just casually walk up. But to be fair, me have seen Steven Tyler just casually. I was too nervous to go and talk to him, and I also didn't want to bother him. But he was at a gas station in Sunapee, New Hampshire. He owns a house there, and I it was either Steven Tyler or a middle-aged white woman who's been smoking Marlboros since she was 6, which is no offense, but that's kind of what Steven Tyler looks like. So it was either Steven Tyler or you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, so yeah, shout out to Steven Tyler too, I guess. And with that being said, I'm gonna kind of rapid fire through some of these albums. But we are gonna stop on a couple of them because a couple of them are our personal recommendations for this week, which is something we're
Yep.
gonna try to have for you guys each week. Is our person a personal recommendation for you guys to watch or listen to or whatever. So starting at the top, Juice World Legends Never Die 5-year anniversary edition with 2 brand new songs. Fantastic album, fantastic anniversary edition. Go check it out. Critter. She is an upcoming female artist that has she's got Juice World vibes like written all over her, man. Like you can very much tell that she's inspired, not ripping off Juice World, but very much inspired by his music. And if you kind of just miss Juice World and that whole vibe, and like you're sad that his family's not going to be putting out any more music, and that was his last album, go listen to Critter, man. She definitely kind of not fills that. No one will ever fill that void, but she kind of like when you're like craving something,
Kind of
kind of
scratches
tickle it,
that
it
itch a little
scratches
bit.
that itch, scratches that itch. That's the
Right.
term I was looking. All right, so then we have Mercury's Survivor's Guilt that came out this year. Fantastic album. Then we have Crispy D. Now, Crispy D, I'll let you actually talk about him if you want.
All right. So now Crispy D is actually going to be my personal recommendation for you guys. If you don't know or haven't listened to him yet, definitely go check him out. He's actually from New Hampshire, which is where we are from. So that just kind of adds to the personal connection a little bit more. He had just released his own or his first EP. He's been steadily putting out singles for the past few years, but he just
Like,
put out
no,
his
for the
first.
last like 6 years, solid. And
Yeah,
I was keeping up with like each single he was putting out too. Like, it was like
some of
month
those
after
that
month.
are like the his some of his most popular ones that some of you guys may actually know and not realize it's by him are "Smoke My Problems Away," "No One Is Reliable," and "Kill Him by Kindness" or "Kill Him with Kindness." Sorry. Um, So that new EP is called Punchline, and that he released that July 4th. Also, which I just found out right before starting this show tonight, um, August 1st, he's releasing his very first actual album, and that's called Manic. So that's my personal recommendation, and definitely, guys, definitely go check him out.
Go check out Crispy D, fantastic artist. Been following him for years, and he's actually from our home state, New Hampshire. Rep the 603 up in this bitch.
603.
Uh, Now, continuing with rattling off our new albums of the year, Tom McDonald, Proud to Be a Problem. That is only a physical copy, only at hangovergang.com. No digital copies are available. We have Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne, Carter 4, Will Smith, based on a true story, Rascal Flatts, Life is a Highway, Refueled Duets, which is a collection of his old songs that he's now duetting with other artists and kind of doing remixes.
Kind of
Um,
revamped. Yep.
mhm. Wu-Tang Clan, Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman, Miley Cyrus, Something Beautiful, Neil Young, Talking to Trees, Bruce Springsteen, The Lost Albums Track 2, some of his older tracks that never released, I assume. Um, Teddy Swims, I've Tried Everything But Therapy, Blake Shelton, For Recreational Use Only, Kane Brown, The High Road, Willie Nelson, Oh What a Beautiful World, Morgan Wallen, I'm the Problem, Lady Gaga, Mayhem, The Weeknd, Hurry Up Tomorrow, Backstreet Boys, Millennium 2.0. Who knew Backstreet Boys were still fucking backstreeting? You know what I'm saying? um, Kesha, she's still making it rain glitter. Her new album's called Period. Um, Joe Jonas has an album called Music for People Who Believe in Love. Snoop Dogg, Altar Call. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Pause for a moment because I want to shout out Benny Blanco. Go look up Benny Blanco. Go look up interviews with Benny Blanco. He has single-handedly been dominating the music industry for the last 2 decades, and none of us even realized it until recently when these interviews came out. He's produced a lot of like the biggest fucking tracks, like everything from Maroon 5, Justin Bieber, like the biggest tracks of the early 2000s was most likely Benny Blanco. Um,
Right.
Fantastic fucking music producer. Shout out Benny Blanco and Selena Gomez. They have an album together. They're a couple. They have an album called I Said I Love You First. So go check that out. Elton John and Brandy Carlisle have one that's new called Who Believes in Angels. Alyssa Cara, which you might know from the song, I think it's called Wild Things. That one is her biggest hit. Most people might know her from that song. But I've been following her since like 2016. Fantastic singer. She has an album out called Love and Hyperbole. And then Benson Boone has an album out called American Heart. Now, all those albums I just mentioned are already out. You can go find them now. Coming soon, we have MGK Lost Americana on August 8th, Maroon 5 Love Is Like August 15th, Joyner Lucas ADHD 2 July 18th, Five Finger Death Punch Best of Volume 1
Volume
July
one. Yeah.
18th. Yep. Ed Sheeran Play September 12th. Jonas Brothers Greetings from Your Hometown August 8th. Sabrina Carpenter Man's Best Friend. And again from out of left field, Madonna Yeah, Madonna has an album. A new Madonna's still out there killing it, man. All right. What is she, like 65 now? Jesus Christ. But anyway, she has an album out July 25th called Veronica Electronica. And two albums, honorable mentions that have been announced, but not a release date announced. Beyonce has an album called Act 3 coming out, and Taylor Swift is
I was like,
re-releasing
this
her
last
first
one's
album.
kind of for
And here, yeah,
our guest
this
tonight.
one's for Uno. This one's for you, Uno. Taylor Swift is re-releasing the album called Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. Taylor. So hold on. Here is the name of the album. It is called Taylor Swift by Taylor Swift, Taylor's version.
Go check it out.
Anyway, go check it out. And then to just round off the list, we have just a short list of movies that either I've seen and recommend, or I highly recommend, or that I really, really want to go see. Starting with Straw. It is directed by Tyler Perry, also the director of a show called Black Beauties on Netflix, which is fantastic. But The Straw is about a mother from a lower income place that we would refer, you and me, Brendan, would probably refer to as the ghetto. Most people, yeah. Um, she's a mother in lower income, struggling, and she loses her fucking mind. And I can't tell you much more without spoiling the movie because there's a lot of psychological depth, there's a lot of twists and turns. But seriously, go check that movie out. It is fucking deep, and everybody needs to see it at least once. Um, we also have Trainwreck. The Astro World Tragedy is a documentary about the Travis Scott concert and the horrible things that transpired there and the people that lost their lives. Shout out to the victims and their families. I hope everyone is doing well all these years later because that tragedy not only affected the music world but the world as a whole. And I just think that that documentary just came out this year, and I just yeah, everybody should go watch that at least once as well. The Straw
Absolutely.
and Trainwreck documentary, two album or two, sorry, not albums, two movies that you need to watch at least once because of the tragedy that they are. Um, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We also have a Eminem documentary called Stands, for fans by fans. And it'll also be releasing some of his new music as the soundtrack. There'll be some new songs by him. Also, Happy Gilmore 2 by Adam
Yes, I'm
Sandler.
excited for this one. I'm
Yeah, we've
super
been doing
excited for
fucking
this.
30 years in the wait. But Eminem will also be a he has a scenes in that movie because him
Oh,
and Adam
okay,
Sandler
okay,
are
that's
friends.
good.
Yeah, so that's dope. Another one I've been waiting like 20 years for is Final Destination Bloodlines. And yes, I know I'm 24. I saw them when I was young. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, Final Destination Bloodlines fucking looks like a fantastic movie. My favorite horror movies and pretty much the only horror movies I watch. Like I don't like any of like I don't really I'm not a Friday the 13th kind of, I'm not a Freddy kind of guy, but those movies always seemed more scary because they were about not about a person. Because me, I'm the type of guy who would get pissed off and try to go punch Freddy in the fucking face. Like even if it got me sliced open and killed, like I'm like, ah, fuck you. But like they're fighting. You can't fight death. You know what I mean? You can't.
Right.
You can't. So those love those movies. I went and saw the new Lilo and Stitch movie. If you were a fan as a kid, you'll love it. If you have kids, you'll love it. If honestly, if you go and see it by yourself while you're stoned out of your gourd, you'll fucking love it. If you just go and see it as an adult, you will love it. I promise you. Lilo and Stitch, 10 out of 10. Recommend the new live action. Elio, it's a new Pixar project. Don't know what the fuck it's about, but I know that every Pixar movie
Pixar
is
movie.
fantastic, fucking work of art. So I recommend everybody go check out Pixar because I grew up. That's probably what gave me such a love for like storytelling and art and music, and like those are part of what did it, man. Pixar movies.
Oh,
Also,
absolutely.
Fantastic Four looks fantastic. Superman
Hey,
looks fucking super. Um, and finally, Karate Kid Legends. Rest in peace to the
yes.
original Mr. Miyagi, who passed away. But this new Karate Kid Legends will not have Will Smith's son in it. Not to say he did a bad job. It was a decent movie, but this movie will have the original actor, Ralph Macchio, playing Daniel, the original Karate Kid as an adult.
And Jackie
It
Chan will
will
also be returning as his role as Mr. Han.
there will be a character. It is in the same universe. There will be, Jackie Chan will be coming from Jaden Smith's movie. So because it is the same universe, but Jaden Smith will not be in this one. The original actors will be in it. That being said, um, we are that is just about my list for what's popping this week.